Hey, Red.
Hey JD, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. I came in today and the second shift once again did not complete their side work like they're supposed to, and they left me with a stack of dishes up to the ceiling and no tea was made. Tables were not stocked, and
Okay, well, before I get into that, is it okay if I record this?
absolutely.
Okay, so tell me again what is going on today?
All right, so I came in today at 5 o'clock, and day shift had not made tea, filled up the ice bin, and done their syrups. Dishes were up to the ceiling, tables had not been filled up, the floor was trashed, the bathroom not stocked. So pretty much everything that we have to do before we go home every single day, they decided not to do it today.
Oh wow, that's something hard to come into when you're first waking up. It can seem very stressful.
Yes, it is.
Have you tried mentioning to them about things that are lacking? And if you have, how's that gone?
I have mentioned it to them before. They, of course, promise they're going to make it better. Um, they'll normally ask me before they leave, is there anything I need to do? And I'll, tell them what they need to do. Of course, they'll tell me they're going to do it, and then I turn my back and they're gone, and nothing's been completed.
Okay, so it sounds like these people are a little young. Is that one of the contributing factors to the issue?
Yes, I've actually, which I totally understand they're high school age and they haven't developed work ethic yet, but still, you would think when you're actually giving someone instruction on how to do something properly, they would do it. So,
That's very true, and that actually could seem very aggravating too. What's some of the ways that you've tried to get them to understand where you're coming from?
well, I've hinted around a lot about how it kind of starts your shift off bad if everything is messed up. I've actually been kind enough to write out a list to help them out. I've tried to offer to assist them in any way, and when I offer to assist, I wind up doing a majority of all the work. So I mean that's pretty much everything that I've done for them. You know,
How does your work ethic compare to theirs when it comes to getting things done? Are you a faster worker, or in which ways
well, my
are you?
work ethic, I've been in this line of work for the past 25 and a half years. So, of course, I'm on a totally different level than they are. So, I don't know.
Seems like you.
I just drew a blank.
It seems like it's okay. It seems like you just work at a faster pace and knowing what order to get things done. Do you think with a little bit of guidance, do you think that maybe they can learn about the order or process to get things done completed the right way?
Uh, Absolutely. I think so. I would love to actually approach upper management about actually making some kind of step by step like side work list or something like that, where you could actually write their names on there so they can actually see, hey, I'm responsible for this, this, and this. So they can't weasel their way out of not doing it.
Versus how it is now, and
Yeah.
how is it now? Is it broken to
Now
sections? Or?
it's pretty much hey, I got this, this, and this, and will you do this? No one's actually assigned to anything. It's basically on what would you say, a trust system? Pretty much.
Okay.
So
All right. So there we go. Hold on. Sorry, my camera was moving. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. So when you start getting aggravated, or when you come in and you feel that, like, what's like your range of emotions as soon as you hit? Like, are you automatically mad, or are you like trying to help them, and then you start getting aggravated because you see they don't care?
normally when I first come in and I see it, I'm like, I get kind of anxious. I'm like, oh my god, I have to get this done. Um, I don't really start getting aggravated until we have more customers starting to come in, and I'm trying to maintain, the side work and get everything done, and then plus take care of my guest. That's when the aggravation comes in. That's when my mood completely changes because, of course, I want to make sure that the restaurant's perfect, and then I want to make sure that the guest experience is perfect as well. So that's why I wish that they would actually stop doing it, so it would just make my shift a whole lot smoother.
Has upper management tried adding penalties for not, or are they really actually implementing anything at all?
I don't think that they have done anything at all, to be honest with you.
Do you feel like cooks should be more interactive with their shifts in order to help people get what's
Absolutely.
done? Do you feel
Absolutely.
like all the cooks on the shifts are all interactive like they should be, or no?
Only a few of them.
I definitely understand the aggravation in that because it's sort of like a well-oiled machine. If one part of the cog doesn't work, the rest of it doesn't turn.
Mm-hmm.
Teamwork does make the dream work, and a lot of people forget that. And I can definitely, empathize with what you're saying because it's like when I cook, and the supplies aren't restocked or the oil's not refilled, and then we get hit by a rush, and then you can't jump off that grill. You can't leave your customers,
Exactly.
and it makes it hard because it seems like nobody really cares enough, or it's not a high enough priority within the company to address. But what they're not realizing is that they're making people who work hard and go the extra mile feel overworked
Mm-hmm.
and underappreciated.
Exactly.
And a title can't fix that. You can print whatever you want on a name tag, but if you don't feel like your work's valued or your opinion's valued, you're not going to value your job.
Exactly.
Do you think, like, what sort of suggestions would you have for if it was, let's say, you came in as a manager that day? What's some of the things you would implement to help change it to make it easier for each shift between transition?
If I actually walked in the door as a manager, in the past, when I've actually been in management, normally what I actually do is I actually point to the person, I actually say the person's name, and I actually instruct the person what they're going to do. Of course, I'm not going to have an employee do anything that I would not do myself. So if I actually have the time to jump in and help an employee, I'm going to jump in and help the employee. For example, like I would come in if I was asking you to assist me. I would say, "Hey, Red, can you please do me a favor? Would you mind helping me do make tea, ice, and fill the syrups? And I will come over here and I'll catch dishes up, sweep the floor, and mop the floor. And that way together we can actually we can knock it out really quickly. But
I could tell that with your management background that you might have a tendency of fixing the problem without directing the problem. Have you noticed yourself you might put yourself in the process of doing the work?
I do. Yes, actually, that's something that in the past of my evaluations and stuff that I would always say that I would slot myself into that position and make put myself into an hourly position. Over the years, I actually had to, I guess, like hit the brakes in the middle of doing something. I would realize that everybody else was sitting around and I was doing everything. I think a lot of that has to play in the fact that I am a perfectionist and I like everything to be perfect. So in my eyes, if I don't do it, it's not going to be perfect. So yeah, but let's see. What else? What else? What else? I was going to say something in the noise.
What about age difference? Do you think that having two young staff together is a bad idea, or should we put older and younger together to maybe rub off on each other?
think that I think that the fact that if we do have older and younger work together, that is fine because that way the younger can learn from the older. But it shouldn't be like it should only be like one or two of kids working with a handful of an adults instead of it being like a handful of young kids and a handful of adults. It'll always be like one or two because you get a bunch of kids together and then they get to talking, playing, goofing off, and everything else. So if you only have like one or two on the shift, then they can actually stay focused and they can get the job done.
Okay. So what's some of the things that you think you can implement now, like after us talking, that you might try new to try to get a change, especially in regards of you not doing the work for them too?
Well, it's funny that now that we were discussing about me slotting myself into a position, I just had like an aha moment. So I'm actually going to stop doing all the work and start calling people out and asking them to assist me.
Yep.
Instead of me just jumping in and doing everything work and running myself into the ground. That way, I can focus on my customers and make sure they have a great experience.
And I also think an idea too, maybe if people write down what they have done on the back of their ticket book when they
Right.
come in from a shift or when third shift arrives, so you can look at it and check it off and sign off on the bottom. And I will suggest that to upper management because I feel like it will remove some problems or issues within transition because I know that I've had to come back behind some of the other shifts and make sure things are done right.
Like a
But
checklist.
yeah, like a little checklist that the new shift has to sign off, and okay, if you don't get it signed off, you're not done.
Well, actually, in other restaurants I've worked in, um, like they would have like your assigned side work, and the closer, the closing server, whoever was leaving for that shift, had to initial it, and
Yeah,
then the manager had to double check behind that server and initial it too.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe that's something we can also do as well.
Yeah, get your cook and your third shift server or third shift cook to okay it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely appreciate you coming to me, JD. And
It's my
there's a
pleasure.
few informed consent forms I have to sign with you some point later tonight.
Okay.
But thank you for letting me record this, and I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome all the time. And
I
it's
love
always
working
a
with
pleasure
you.
working with you too.